Mulan, Michelle Morgan. Long ago and far away, in a land of dragons and battles, there lived a famous warrior. This is the tale of that hero. Chapter 1. Mulan was working quietly in her corner of the house, just as she did every day. She was at her room weeping and weeping, just as she did every day. Shh, shh, went the shutters of her loom. It was quiet in the house. Mulan's father, tired in the air, was tossing and turning in his bed. Mulan's mother, busy as ever, was making a meal. Little brother was playing as quietly as little brother could. Shh, shh, went the shutters of the loom. But there was another sound. What was it? It was the sound of Mulan sighing as she worked. What is it? Father asked her. Why do you sigh? Mother asked her. Are you dreaming of a boyfriend? Are you wishing for new shoes? Little brother asked her. He was a cheeky boy and liked to tease his older sister. I am thinking of the poster I saw in town, said Mulan. She sighed again. Our country is under attack. We have been ordered to send a man from this family to fight in the Emperor's army. War. One man from every family must join the army to fight for the Emperor. Chapter 2. A man from our family must go to fight, or we will all be punished, sighed Mulan's father. I will do what has to be done. The sick old man tried to struggle to his feet, but he had not even the strength to stand. You will not last a day, cried Mulan's mother. Your fighting days are over. I will go instead of father, said little brother. He picked up his tiny wooden sword and pretended to fight his toys. But he whirled his toy sword so quickly that he lost his footing and fell down. Oof! Mulan looked at her little brother lying in his pile of toys. He was still clutching his toy sword. He was much too young to fight for his country. She looked at her father. He was much too old. True, he had once been a very skilled soldier, but those days were long gone. I am just the right age, she thought. I can run and ride better than many boys. I can think quickly, and I help father practice his fighting skills for years. I should be the one who joins the army. Chapter 3. Mulan spoke up briefly. I want to buy a saddle and a horse. I will go to the army in father's place. How little brother laughed. Silly, he said. You're only a soppy girl. How Mulan's mother fretted. No, it's not right. Your place is here with us. Girls are not allowed in the Emperor's army. Her father was too tired and sick to say much. He just groaned, No, Mulan, no. Mulan was determined. I have a plan, she said. I'll dress like a boy. I'll wear padding and armor. They'll never know I'm a girl. Impossible, said her mother. Dangerous, gasped her father. Crazy, said little brother. Mulan had made up her mind. She was ready to go. She was ready to do anything to save her family. In the East Market, she went to buy a speedy horse. In the West Market, she got a saddle. In the North Market, she got a full set of armor. In the South Market, she got a sword. Chapter 4. At home, she tied up her hair and tried on her armor. All the night she practiced her fighting skills and took tips from her father. She no longer looked like Mulan. She looked like a soldier. At dawn, she said goodbye to her mother and father. She climbed on to the back of her speedy horse and rode away. She'll be back by tea time, laughed little brother. Young Mulan was not back by tea time that day or the next. Mulan traveled for 3 days along the banks of the Yellow River. The ground was hard, the air was chill, and the nights were dark and lonely. She missed her family, and many times she wished she could go home, but bravely she went on. At dusk on the third day, she arrived at the army camp at Black Mountain. As Mulan approached the camp, the guard appeared, blocking her way. "Where are you going?" he challenged. Mulan shivered, but she said in a deep voice, "I am here to join the army as ordered." The guard nodded. Surprised, Mulan passed quickly into the camp. From that moment on, Mulan lived in the fear of her fellow soldiers, discovering she was a girl. Army life was tough and everyday sights and sounds reminded her of home and her family. The days were long, the nights were longer. Her life was harder than hard. Chapter 5. Mulan didn't give up. She worked hard and she trained hard. She learned how to use a spear and how to carry a shield. She learned how to attack and defend and how to ride at the speed of the wind. So it was time for the first battle. Mulan's blood ran cold with dread and fear. Her knees shook, her heart pounded, but she clutched her sword tightly and went into the battle. Oh, she was as brave as any soldier. Oh, she was as quick as any runner. And she was clever. She used her sword, but she also used her brain. She outwitted her enemies. She used her spear to leap over her attackers. She danced her way past clumsy attacks. He hid under her shield, then jumped out to take her attackers by surprise. She earned the respect of her fellow soldiers. They still had no idea she was a young girl. They clapped on her back and said, "What clever tricks you use." That was the first battle of many. She became a fine soldier. She became a leader. She survived 1 long year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 more. For 10 long years she survived. She traveled far. She rode through great green forests. She rode across hot red deserts. She rode up steep and snowy mountains. She rode 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 miles, 4, 5,000, 6,000, 7, and more. She traveled 10,000 miles. She kept her hair tied up. She kept her courage strong, and she kept her secret well. She became a famous officer and led her troops into many a successful battle. But every night she dreamed of her home, her mother, her father, and little brother. She wondered how they were. Chapter 6. Finally, the war was won. The emperor was pleased with Mulan. "You have been brave and true," he said. "Ask for any reward and you can have it. Gold, diamonds, palaces." Mulan knew exactly what she wanted. "I want a fast horse and I want my freedom," she said. "I want to leave fighting behind and return to my family and to live in peace." Her wish was granted. When father and mother heard the sound of horses' hooves, they came out to look. They saw a fine officer riding towards them. It was Mulan, followed by a troop of soldiers. She looked so splendid riding her fine horse. Little brother ran out to welcome the soldiers and to cheer. Mulan went into her house to her old rooms. She sat at her old table and she took off her armor. She let her hair down. She washed the dust off. She put on her dresses, long and flowing. Then she went out the door and greeted her troop of soldiers. "I am Mulan," she said. Her comrades were all amazed. "A girl!" they shouted. "Not possible!" It took a lot of explaining before they could believe it. The soldiers were so amazed that they told Mulan's tale far and wide. The story of how a young girl became a warrior spread from person to person, across mountains and oceans to many different countries. Mulan's land people still sing about her. It's hard to believe that it could be so, but now we have learned, now we know, not to judge people by how they Look, you too can be a hero and have your tale told or put in a book. The end.